What's good, guys? Welcome back to a March reading log. Um, I did some damage during March. I read a lot, a bunch of manga, bunch of novels. I can, however, promise that I will not be reading this much during April. Had some family things come up, and yeah, just gonna be busy with other stuff. So reading have to take has to take second priority right now, and that's just how life is. And I made a huge dent in the TBR shelf this time around, but yeah, let's just get into it and start off with manga. First off, I have let me put this somewhere else. I have Chojin X Volume 1. I was not super impressed with this. I mean, it was decent, but it just felt like Tokyo Ghoul, but it was trying to be funny. I mean, the parallels from this and Tokyo Ghoul's first volume, it was a bit too similar, so I have a feeling that Sui Ishida might be stuck doing what seemed to be successful and try to change it enough to make fans like it. But I mean, I enjoyed the first part of Tokyo Ghoul, but it wasn't like my favorite or anything. So Under Ninja Volume 1. I saw a lot of people not being super into this, but I really enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to it. I might just be really like in tune with Kengo Hanazawa's humor, because it really hit home for me, and it really reminded me of the first volume of I Am a Hero. So I mean, I'm looking forward to Volume 2 if we ever get it. This series is put out by Denpa, so you never know, they might turn key before we'll ever get a Volume 2. You never know in this day and age. Next up, Psalm 100, Volume 9. It's just another volume of Psalm 100, so if you enjoyed the other 8, you will enjoy this. It's literally just more of the same, which I love. The series is great fun, and I love a good zombie manga, so really enjoyed this. It's not for everybody, but it's for me. Next up, I finally got around to reading more Orient. I've been piling these volumes up. I have 2 on my TBR pile next to my bed, so then I'll be completely caught up with the Orient releases. It's okay. It's not the best thing I've ever read, but it's okay. The art's fantastic, and I'm glad to support Shinobu Otaka. Magi is one of my personal favorites manga of all time. Orient, not so much, but it has potential to grow, but it's definitely struggling because it's walking in the footsteps of such a great manga that is Magi. But yeah, it is what it is. For the next one, I might actually have to look up my notes. What did I write down? Solo leveling 5. Oh, I wrote more of the same. It's a power fantasy with colored art that's for some reason have a lot of people hyped up. However, I am of the opinion that this is just the latest generation's SAO, so do with that information what you will. It is decent, but it is definitely not groundbreaking, and there are at least 5 other manhwa out right now in print that feel exactly the same as Solo Leveling. It just managed to come out before the rest. This is one that I'm really into. Candy and Cigarettes. It's just a fresh take on a action shonen. Or it might be seinen. I actually haven't looked it up, but it's just a good like action story. Think Sakamoto Days, but with less humor. It's still funny, but Sakamoto Days is definitely more catered towards a younger audience, where this is a bit more serious at times, but it's still absurd as hell. I mean, it's about an old man and a little kid being assassins. Kimono Jihen, this covers just about... Yeah, this is still anime stuff. I'm still really enjoying it. These are two absolute bangers with 7 Cs, and I mean, great little action series. And if you want a pretty typical battle shonen that's not super popular right now, check out Kimono Jihen. You might enjoy it. Ragnar Crimson Volume 4, I finally got back to this. It's absurdist fantasy at its best, I guess. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, in one volume, they somehow get like big four-wheel drive military trucks and assault rifles and stuff. If you're looking for a fantasy series that goes beyond just Dungeons and Dragons type stuff, this might be a really good place to pick up. Next up, I read 3 volumes of Frieren, and I picked up volume 5, and I didn't stop until I was done with volume 7. I absolutely love this series. This is more in the realms of that Dungeons and Dragons standard fantasy. However, it has this like melancholy vibe to it that I really enjoy, and it really like touches upon some themes that a lot of other series just don't. And I'm super impressed with this manga, and I hope that it gets to conclude in the way the mangaka wants it to. This definitely does not feel like a story that can go on forever. Even though our main character is practically immortal, this story feels like it has an end in mind. And it's just a really good journey, and it can be brutal at times, and the action is great, and I mean the art is fantastic, and the characters are super lovable, and it has hilarious moments, it has super serious moments, very deep moments as well. So there's a lot to gain from this series, and I can only recommend picking up Frieren. This is definitely one of my top reads currently. Now on to another Viz title, The Elusive Samurai. See, this was one that I was really hoping I would like, be super into, but I just am not. I'm enjoying it. I think after volume 3, I started kind of like really enjoying my time, so I'm gonna be keep picking this up. I'm actually currently have volume 5 on my nightstand, so yeah, it's historical fiction basically, and it's funny at times, but I'm a bigger fan of Assassination Classrooms. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not a bad manga, but it's definitely not my favorite. Jujutsu Kaisen 17. It's been like a month since I read this, so I'm gonna look up my notes. It says 17, it says 18 in here. Did I picked up the wrong volume, I think. Well, I said it was decent. It's just the hype is really ruining this series for me, which is super sad, because I've just gotten to an age where everything that's super hype on Twitter I automatically just kind of try to stay away from, but Jujutsu Kaisen is just decent. Oh, speaking of a series that feels exactly like Solo Leveling, Tomb Raider King Volume 1. Power Fantasy manhwa, you'll be seeing a lot of them because the kids are eating them up, and if you want a webtoon / manhwa that's actually good and not just power fantasy crap, The Boxer, this was really good. I couldn't put this down once I started reading it, and Great little release from Issei Press. I dropped my volume, so it's a bit scuffed, but yeah, they are expensive though. These Issei Press volumes are $20 a piece, and that's a lot of money. But I mean, they are fully colored, so you do get a quality book. But they're not cheap to collect, and I'm kind of worried that I'm starting to just pick up manhwa just to pick up manhwa. Like I have some here, like Zombie Makeup Club, Awakened, that I've never even really looked into, but just picked up because I saw they were by Issei Press. No, this one is a Blaze Manga, and this one's Seven Seas. Anyways, my bad. Another new series that I checked out is Go Go Loser Ranger. I was not sold on the first volume, but second volume got me a little bit more interested, and you know, I'm excited to see when an author jumps into a completely different genre than what they did in their previous works. Well, this is this is the creator of the Quintessential Quintuplet, so I'm excited to see what they do with an action comedy thing where we actually follow the portrayed bad guys in fighting this is kind of like The Boys or Invincible kind of situation we got going on here. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and I mean this yellow chick is pretty nice. All right. Witch and the Beast Volume 9, I mean, what can I say? It's beautiful. The art's great. This cover is fantastic. I'm really... I have Volume 10 on my nightstand as well, and I'm going to be getting into that tonight, so really excited for that. Great series, and what can I say? I mean, I've spoken about this multiple times. I'm trying to see if I wrote anything specific down. When did I read this? Oh, yeah, beautiful art like always, amazing action. Oh yeah, I think this had some like real like beautiful abstract action. I mean, just look at these panels. I'm not sure if that's gonna focus, but it's just beautiful. Absolutely amazing art by Kosuke Satake. Sorry about my pronunciations. Next up, another favorite of mine, Golden Kamuy. I mean, this is great, like historical fiction as well, and it's over the top. And there's a situation in volume 28 that had me like physically like laughing out loud, and it was hilarious. Great character. My biggest issue with Golden Kamuy is at this point, we're towards the end here, we're only missing 3 volumes, is that there are so many characters and some of them look very much alike, and it's hard to keep like track of their names. So with me, I already have a large issue with remembering names, but I remember faces. But then you have people that look the same, and I'm just like, who's on what team? There's three factions now, and who's betraying who, and who's a double agent. It gets really difficult to keep track of, honestly, but it's still a fantastic story, and it has a bit of everything, so it's a great starting point to get into seinen, in my opinion. And these 2 volumes were definitely an embodiment of the things I've just said, so really interested to see where this one ends. It's only got 3 volumes left, so it can end in any way. Honestly, I have not been able to predict the ending at this point, so I'm really excited. Avant-Garde Yumiko, I did not like this. This is when Shusho Shimi is just not in his ace. This is the weird stuff that he does that is just not for me. But what I really enjoy of this is one of his latest works, Welcome Back Alice, Volume 4. This is really good. I really enjoy this. What did I write down? I said it's a super exciting read, but it's not for the innocent. So it has sexual content, and it dwells into like gender and identity and so on. So if you're not looking to read about that, stay away. You might not like this, but I also challenge you to give this series a try and, you know, get out of your comfort zone. Try something new. Sometimes you find a genre that you really enjoy. Maybe not the entire genre, but maybe you find a work like this that you really enjoy. This is why I started picking up his series and even some of his weird stuff. I'm still kind of contemplating picking up Devil's Ecstasy, but I don't know. That's again one of those like weird series that he does sometimes, but yeah. Alright, last 3 mangas, 3 volumes of the Holy Texts. I don't want to talk too much about these. This is the adventures if it was actually like rated R, basically. Great reads. Now that was all the manga I read in March. Now we have the novels. So I read 3 books of The Last Apprentice. This says books, and I know for some people that's a slur, I think. I haven't really looked into it, because here this is basically just somebody who hunts witches and monsters. But I think in America the series is called The Last Apprentice. So no, I don't mean to offend, but this is just what the books are called here. So yeah, The Last Apprentice 4 through 6. 4 was better than 3. 5 felt off, I think. What is this one? Oh no, 4 felt a bit weak, but it was better than 3. 5th is probably my favorite one so far off the reread, and 6 is the one that felt super different because it's in a different location, but it's super important for the plot going forward and expanding, you know, the world, and really putting into perspective how much danger our main cast is going to be dealing with going forward. So, great little middle grade dark fantasy series. Absolutely enjoy it, and it's a long series. Sadly, the universe does not have a proper ending, as the author passed away last year, I believe, or this year. No, last year, during last summer. However, The Last Apprentice is 13 books long, and that had a proper ending. It had a sequel series that follows the main character of The Last Apprentice. That is 3 books long, and that also concluded. And then we have the spin-off series called Brother Wolf that has 4th book coming out. That's supposed to be a sort of ending where the author slaved away despite his health to finish that, to give fans at least some sort of ending. But yeah, The Last Apprentice, great little middle grade. I mean, if you're kind of hesitant about getting into reading novels, get something that's middle grade. You can see it's not a lot of words. It's 20 lines per page. So even the audiobooks, they go by, like, if you listen to it at 1.5 speed, it's 4 hours, 5 hours maybe to finish a book. But yeah, great little series, and I'm super happy to be revisiting it between more adult fantasy books, where at the beginning of the month I finished reading / listening to The Will of Ascension, which is book 2 in Mistborn Era 1. My biggest gripe with this was that the last 2, what do they call it, parts? I'm not sure if they call them parts or chapters, or let me see. Yeah, parts. The last 2, I don't remember how many are, but the last 2 felt like they were supposed to be in a book of their own. Like we reached them a pretty natural conclusion for a middle book. However, it felt like he needed to shove in more stuff so that book 3 wouldn't have to be like twice the size. So it worked out, I guess, but it definitely made the pacing of this not as good. I am about halfway through The Hero of the Ages, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm looking forward to see what Era 2 brings afterwards, and super excited to hear that there are adaptations in the work of these novels. And I got back on my Percy Jackson grind. I listened to Son of Neptune. I really enjoyed this. This was like... So, The Lost Hero, I really enjoyed the new characters. They were fine, but they just felt a little bit off because they weren't the main crew, you know. They weren't Percy and Annabeth and so on. However, they weren't present throughout this book. This book really like gave the spotlight to Percy and really showed us like how much he's grown from that little insecure kid from from the Lightning Thief to a competent combatant and leader who is just confident throughout like his whole being and knows his shit, and he's also like still shows like the compassion we know that Percy has from those 5 books in the main series. I think it's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, but yeah, this was really enjoyable. The Mark of Athena is the first book where everybody is together, and it just felt a little bit off. There are too many characters going on for Riordan to really flesh them out. There's a big focus on Annabeth in this one, which felt odd because she herself is struggling with her identity in this novel, and she, like Percy and Jason, are kind of taking a back seat, even though Percy is more so a main character than Jason. Jason is definitely boiled down to a super strong, nice guy, and there's not a lot of depth to him. And this book mainly is led by Annabeth, Percy, and Leo, of all people. Even though I absolutely love Leo, but it feels like a weird choice. How it works in the story, if you've read it, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens in the House of Hades, and then lastly, I do not remember. Is it the Last Olympian, the Blood of Olympus, something like that. Looking forward to seeing where it goes. Really enjoyed these two. Kind of sad that the 5th